How are you?
Tired.
Exhausted? You got rid of the beard.
I shaved everything. It was just too itchy. Just way too itchy.
Just couldn't take it anymore?
Yeah, I think right now because it's winter, my face gets really dry. So then I have to shave off the top layer of skin a few times, and then I'm good to go again.
Oh, okay.
It's really disgusting.
Well, it looks all clean and professional.
Because you're not like right there.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't tell anybody. It's just going to be on the podcast. It's fine.
Protect you. Protect the innocent ones from this viewing.
How you doing? You getting any more sleep?
No,
Fuck.
not at all. Yeah. But
sorry.
It'll be all right. I have a show this weekend I'm kind of excited about.
Where at?
It's in Round Rock. It's called a place called the Downtown Hall of Fame. Rick is actually playing, but he said, "Hey man, you want to come and play a few songs?" And I was like, "Yes, I do."
I absolutely do.
So been doing that, trying to get this new guitarist I have up to speed.
Oh, you've got a new guitarist?
I've got a new old guitarist.
A new old guitarist.
New because we just started jamming together probably in November, and we kind of click because we both have the same similar sick humor, so it kind of works.
So what are you drinking? Coffee with whiskey, Fireball?
I cannot consume any type of depressant. It has to be a stimulant, or
at all times. I'm
done for. So I'm excited to play. I had practice with the guitarist on Monday, and we're talking more about kind of us playing all the original songs for him, kind of talking about what I want to do with them, and the difference between a recording and an actual live performance, and how they should not be the same. Whereas I have
exactly
old guitarists and fellow musicians that want everything to be the same as what it is on the record, and I'm like, no. If somebody wanted to listen to, especially if it's a cover, they're going to stay at home or in the car and listen to it. They're not going to bother to come.
Ooh, I know people who would argue with you on some of that.
And they can argue with me all they want, but they're not going to win because people do not want to go see. Now, if you're a tribute band, yeah, you need to be.
Yeah, that's different.
But my band is no way a tribute band. We're more of a ha, look at us mess this up band. So there you go.
When's your gig exactly?
Saturday, 6:30
well, this isn't going to air. This isn't going to air before that.
That's okay.
So make sure you send me the link to that so I can share it.
Okay.
2022 can suck my non-existent ball sack.
Oh, yeah?
It's like every other week it's taking somebody that you don't want it to take. It's the eve before the year. It's been because we also lost Louis Anderson.
Oh, he was funny. He was really funny.
And then Sidney Poitier, Bob Saget, Meatloaf, fired.
Betty
White.
She was an impressive lady and funny as fuck.
Yeah, no more death 2022. If we could stop, that'd be great.
I think the year that I had the hardest with people dying was the year that Tom Petty died.
Oh, that sucked. That year sucked. It was
Glenn
so
Frey, yep. Tom Petty.
Yep.
I mean,
that year sucked.
And then the only time before that was when the year Sam Kinison died. And I think Sam Kinison and a whole bunch of other people died together because
I cried for like 2 days when Tom Petty died. Like I knew him or something. I don't know what that was. But every time I think about it, I would literally cry. It's
weird how musicians have this hold on you, because it's every time not every time, but a lot of times when David
Bowie died, I wanted to I couldn't.
That was sad because
couldn't.
What happened?
It was the same year too.
Yeah, but the weird thing is he released his album and then he died. It coincided.
Good album too.
His album release and his death were like the same. But that's really cool. If you're gonna pass,
that's how to do it.
That's just how you do it. Hey, bitches, I'm out of here. Boom, here's some new music.
Yeah, I cried with Bowie too.
Man, but that's a thing. Every year, someone I like is dying.
Well, I mean, as we get older, that's going to happen. But I feel like 2022 kind of started pretty fucked up. Like, it's been someone every week for 3 weeks, and I'm done.
Well, 2022 started in 2021.
It really did. We were like, fuck this. You know, I read somewhere that we're not going to get to the point of the pandemic being an endemic for 2 more years. And I was like, I refuse to accept that as a fucking answer.
Well, I guess they say we can make our own reality. So start creating, girl.
Well, we got to figure out something
But yeah, I was thinking before the show today, I was like, I'm going to suck so bad.
You are not.
So sorry. I was like writing out apologies. Dear Renelle, accept my apology for totally sucking dicks today.
No, you know what though? You did so great the last time. Like when I was editing the interview, I was like, for being somebody who hasn't slept for pretty much 3 days, he sounded great. He did really good. You took over most of the interview. And then you told me I didn't cuss that much, which was fucking sad. Because I love it. I love that back up. God, I love that fucking word. And it always makes people mad. They're like, she cusses a lot for a girl. I'm like, fuck you.
Let me give you a fucking raise you 2 more, motherfuckers.
It was a miracle that wasn't my daughter's first word.
Is it just me, or are our intros getting longer and longer?
That's okay. I let that one be longer because you'd been gone.
It was like, and in 1835, Brent popped his first pimple. Everyone in the room got sprayed.
There was a method to my madness. I won't do it again then. Fine.
I was like,
my daughter's favorite YouTube creator has these coffee cups, and one says cunt, and the C is the handle, and that's what I want for my birthday that's coming up, just so you know.
Well, it doesn't say cunt if you have it facing the wrong direction, though.
Well, I don't know how they do it, but and then there's one that says fuck. Hello.
Ed, what's up, dude?
I'm glad I caught that part of the conversation.
We've all got our Java, dude. Do you have yours?
No, I'm drinking a sparkling water.
Oh,
you are just like too upper scale for us, man.
I'm drinking tea. Thank you. This time,
it'd be a good thing to drink something warm for sure.
It's usually wine. So,
in the kitchen, there's a cup, and it says, "I'm totally wearing pants on this video call."
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
But I didn't bring that one to the interview. But I do have to say this one thing because it's going to come up last if we don't do it. I don't plan on getting too vulgar or anything like that with you folks, but you did say you had to get a cup that said cunt on it.
I did. My daughter's favorite YouTube star, I guess I'm doing it wrong, but it's like see you, and I'm like, I really, really want that for my birthday. So I was just dropping hints.
Well, it kind of went over weird, but we did a show last month called the Punk Rock Lottery. I definitely want to tell you about that. It was a blast. It was very creative and different, but the first song we performed was called Critical Cunt.
Yes.
and I wrote that song partially at a Catholic retreat.
Oh my God.
So. A Catholic retreat? Were you getting divorced at that point in time?
I was definitely already divorced, and
you're like
still had some bad feelings.
Wallet watch.
Yeah, I think that writing music can be the best way to process your feelings, especially when you're going through some intense rejection or something of that nature. But yeah, that song it didn't say anything about her. I don't know.
No, not at all. Just her name.
No, we didn't let that out too. So what is her name?
No. Almost.
I'll leave it out. It's
good job.
Thank you. No, I don't resent her anymore. I'm actually very grateful she's around. She's a fantastic mother.
So let's just jump in here.
Sure. I'm ready.
So you are with Our Liberation. So tell me about the band. So it's basically, from what I know, it's a 3-piece. You are on vocals and guitar. You got Rick on bass. You got Daniel on drums. Do you have anyone else in the background?
Yeah, that's a good question. What we've done as far as our recordings is I was able to partner with an excellent producer named Kevin Chin. And he's been with me for years. He is with North Shore Media Productions. Mm-hmm. And he's an awesome soloist. So whenever we have a space in our tunes and we need somebody to plug in something creative there, he's got the guitar to bring it. So I think that in some of the tunes that I sent you, he was definitely on Not Allowed and Fear Monster.
I think Fear Monster there's one that has like a really awesome lead riff. And I was like,
right.
I don't know if that's Ed or not. I don't know if he has the chops to do that. Because I've actually seen you.
You have.
With and without clothes on. No, I've seen you play. I actually saw you at Round Rock Rick Festival.
Right.
And it was really awesome to see you. And you weren't with your band. You were just out there by yourself.
Right.
And it was awesome to see you because some of the songs you did, I was like, this dude's peering into my soul. How dare him? Let me go take a shower because I feel dirty. No, your songs are, man, they just shine a light just into the darkest part of your soul. So did you sell your soul to the devil, I guess is my first question.
I'm glad you asked. No, I did not.
Oh, okay, good.
My buddy Aaron Lewis said he did, and I love his stuff. I saw him last, actually the year of the pandemic. I was quite excited about that. Yeah, it's good to see.
Was it him solo?
Out. He was doing a solo show, man. Awesome.
Acoustic, just acoustic, right?
Yeah. I brought the bass player Rick with me.
All right.
I wanted him to come along tonight, but he had another commitment. So.
Oh, that's too bad. That bastard. Tell him we hate him. Tell him to fuck himself.
I was quite upset. Yeah.
So basically, you're a 3-piece when you play live, and possibly a 4-piece when you're doing your recording process.
Yes.
Do you just play acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and vocals, or are there anything else you do?
That's a great question. You know what? I went to college for drums.
Really?
I spent 4.5 years doing percussion performance. So the first thing they did was stick me on the marimba, and I had never touched one before. Are you familiar with this?
Well, go ahead and explain it for people that don't know.
Absolutely. They gave me a scholarship, so I figured I might as well give it a shot. And then
they're going to pay for it.
Right. So I said the best way to get through college and not actually do college is get a music degree. So the marimba is like a giant xylophone. It's a little longer than your arm span. So it has 4 1/3 octaves. Some of them have more, some have less. And it's very prevalent in Guatemala. And you don't see it in very many orchestras, but they have like concertos and solos and stuff you could do on it. You can play flute music or violin music on it. And then you can do like piano accompanying you. And I did some competitions there. I actually won a competition in Austin back when I was living in Houston. When I was in college, it was the Mu Phi Epsilon fraternity. And I kept trying to get those guys to drink, and they wouldn't do it.
A fraternity that wouldn't drink?
I know. They were a professional fraternity. I don't drink now, but back then I certainly did.
We won't hold that against you, man.
Thank you, Brent.
We're just sending out a bunch of love to you. You can probably feel it right now.
I can. I'm excited to share with you. So just going back to that, getting a percussion degree, they want you to practice on the timpani and show up on the snare drum and do all kinds of hand drums and different percussion ensembles. And we had a jazz group there. I even played bass in the jazz group. So just long story short, the way that applies to today, like I've never brought a drummer into the studio with me. I've done all my own drumming on my own tracks.
Doesn't that hurt Daniel's feelings though?
No, he's not really that attached to it.
He's like, I just want a gig, man.
He just wants to get paid.
Do you like percussion or guitar more?
I like guitar more, and it's really so I can connect with the audience and be in front of people. I just like the flexibility of it. I don't like to sit when I perform.
You could do like a Sheila E. thing with the drums.
I could. Phil Collins.
There you go. So I was reading up on your band, and it said,
"Thank you."
The band's goal is to inspire and delight with a blend of melody and philosophy. And I kept reading, and it said the band is a cross between the Foo Fighters and Eagles. And I was like, Tool and Seether? Cause I hear a bunch of Tool and Seether when I listen to y'all. What do you say about that?
When I was deciding what I was going to do with music, Dave Grohl was always one of the biggest inspirations for me. And I think it's probably because I started on the drums and I watched how his career shifted and he just kept being prolific and kept creating and stuff. I've always been most inspired by the Foo Fighters. And then I also had like some classic rock influences. So that's why I said the Eagles. But I definitely didn't want to be as toned down as that. I do love Maynard. I love Tool. Coincidentally, I have a concert on the 4th. Tool's going to be coming to Houston, so I'll be there.
You do things with your voice. Like there are some parts where you're pushing out through the front of your face. Yes. And then there's other parts where you're holding back, kind of like you're pulling in a beast and you're singing in the back of your throat. You have an interesting way that you navigate from your chest voice to your head voice to the back of your throat to your face. And I'm wondering how you develop that, or do you just let it go? To me, it sounds like, based off of what you're saying, I'm a drummer. I'll get an idea. I'll use how I think the percussion instruments support it. And then I draft the feel based off of that. And then I make my voice fall somewhere in between there.
Yeah, I think, like you said, how was it developed? Mm-hmm. It really just came through coming up with an idea and recording it over and over and over again. Like, I don't know if this would have any interest to your listeners, but when I record, I'll come to just an audio file on the phone, right? And I'll play this really rough draft as I do these chords and these lyrics, right? And then I may do 5 or 10 repetitions that day, and then I'll save them under the title 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and then I'll just leave it. And then the next day I come back to it, maybe like 2 or 3 days later, then I'll save it 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. That way I know where I'm at and what it is. And I may just scrap a lot of that, but like at the end of the day, I can listen to it and then say, that was a great idea. I'm doing that again. And that was worthless. I'm not doing that. But it's usually like 5-6 days, and then we have something we can share. It's worth talking about.
So do you start the songwriting process for the band, or like, are you the sole songwriter at this point?
Pretty much.
Okay.
When we did the punk rock lottery, we had 4 guys, and within like a week or two, one of them dropped out. So it was very interesting because I was like looking to the guys to come up with some material, and they were looking to me. And I said, thank God I've done this for so long.
Right.
Because otherwise we would be completely lost.
So how did you get together?
Jinx. I was going to ask him the exact same thing. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
How did it start? Where did it start from? How did you get the first crew together?
It actually started in Houston. And I went to a weekend seminar called the Landmark Forum. And I won't go into all those details, but it was one of the best uses of my time, one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And I got in there and I saw how some of my relationships were just totally like surface. We had all these like barriers between us. Does that make sense, Brent?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I just realized that like from that moment on, I wanted to be open, honest, and forgiving. And so I brought that to my relationships, especially with my wife. And the coolest thing about it was the relationship flourished at that moment. But even then, I had no idea I was going to start singing again. And I hadn't sang in front of people in about 14 years. And so naturally, I started to write and I wanted to do something creative. And so I decided to host the Our Liberation concert in Houston. And it wasn't even a band yet. And so without going to all the things that happened with it, we ended up feeding over 100 people, raising over $4,300. We gave away a bunch of prizes and T-shirts.
Awesome.
Oh, it was a thrill. Definitely. I will say this, like I was sitting in a church and they had a prayer up there on their bulletin and stuff. And everybody was reciting the prayer and it said something about our liberation. I said, that's it. That's what I want. So I didn't want the band to be a church theme, but I wanted to be a freedom theme and a self-expression theme that people could take and use and discover something for themselves out of it. So while I was doing that festival prep, which happened, I think it was in November of 2015, that's when I started exploring moving to Austin and getting people together and starting a band.
Let's jump into one of those tracks. I could feel that Brent really wanted to talk about this one too. Let's talk about Fear Monster. What's the story behind that song?
When I was getting divorced, the most troublesome part for me was that I couldn't get her to talk and express what was going on so we could deal with it.
There was like a shutdown.
There was a shutdown. I would say a withdrawing. And the first thing I'll say is I definitely am responsible and I had a part to play in all this. It is not her fault. But I did realize like this is unreconcilable, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I always like the analogy that if we're going to argue, right, and one of us puts down the tennis racket, there's no more game to be played. And so that's what I drew out of like her and my discussions and stuff. And so like, you know, in my life, 1,000 things will happen and I'll write down 1 or 10 of them and I'll take that one and put it in a song. And so if you listen to it in the beginning, it talks about poor boy can't calm down, took away his safety with scolding sounds. And that was more like a reflection on how I felt as a boy compared to how my son was dealing with all this upheaval in his home. And he would never remember or say that, but like, that's how I saw it. Like the mirror of me and him, like he wasn't being downright like yelled at or like cussed or anything like that, but just told what to do all the time.
The thing I like about fear is I think you talk about as fear being a monster, whereas if you don't manage it, it becomes a monster that you can't deal with, or it can turn you into a monster because you can't deal with it. To me, it kind of has to do with, you know, check yourself and constantly look at what you're doing and questioning it and seeing is it valid in the real world, or is this something emotional based off of some trauma you've experienced in the past, kind of. That's kind of how I took it. And one of my favorite lines is your fear makes a monster out of you. And you're talking a lot about that to where, and I was thinking, okay, if you're afraid, you're going to always be reacting to things. And so because you're in reactionary mode, you may strike before you need to. You may strike before you need to listen. You may be unable to listen because you're dealing with that stuff. And that's kind of some of the stuff I got out of that. One of the other things I found out really cool was your outro, the change in the music at the end. Yeah. So, see, you're going to laugh when I say this, but you know the song Bad Guy by Billie Eilish?
That's a great song.
I don't.
Okay, you need to go really listen to it. Because I was listening to her, because in her song, she has it going one way, and then at the end, she totally changes it up. Like it's like almost a total separate song. And she goes, and someone was talking to her and go, well, why did you do it this way? And she's like, well, I wanted to have the same song, but I wanted to have it totally shift to another place and be related, but a new creation at the same time. So my question is, transitioning to that outro, what was the inspiration to create that? Did the outro come first? Was the outro just like, oh, we could do this? Or Where did that come about? Why did that come about?
I think it was two things. Because always when I would work, right, I'd come up with the chords and the lyrics and then put them together. And then once I had a good sense of where the song was, it was pretty solid. Then I'd turn over to a producer, and then the producer would help me kind of shuffle things around or like clean it up or shorten it. What, you know how it goes. And you got to edit and cut all that stuff. And so the outro was inspired by a song by Chevelle. And I was playing with their rhythms and some chords that I came up with. And I remember very distinctly, like I was already divorced, right? Mm-hmm. And I was going to my kid's house. I'd already moved out, going there a lot. And I was playing guitar on the floor while the kids were getting ready for bed. And I was playing that chord progression, that outro over and over again. And then all of a sudden I just paused and the kids were dancing to it. And then they looked at me like something had gone awry. And I said, that's what I got to do in that song.
No kidding, little creep. Face it, talk is cheap. Gun on me, you made your bed. I'm on the grid. Poor boy can't calm down. Took away his safety, the scolding sounds. Me guitar, I provide. Be glad I'm keeping you alive. Keeping you alive. Your fear makes a monster out of you, and all convincing won't do. Your fear makes a monster out of you. With your taxes, I'm immune. I'm immune. Don't you know that it's not cool to dump raw emotion like a fool? Unload uncensored, unabashed. Shake it, kid, at last. Don't you know that it's not cool to dump raw emotions like a fucking fool? Unload uncensored, unabashed. Shake it, kid, at last. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Gone in a flash. Gone in a flash. Your fear makes a monster out of you. Your fear makes a monster. Your fear makes a monster out of you. All convincing won't do. Your fear makes a monster out of you. Poking holes in all that I do. Your fear makes a monster out of you. With your poison, I'm immune. I'm immune. Oh, fuck.
Well, the funny thing is words can carry melody or they can carry a rhythm to them too. And sometimes the rhythm of words and the flow of the words are really cool. And I think that's what you do a lot of. You have specific rhythms that you associate with certain words. That's what I hear in your songs anyway, because you do not use like normal words all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a major in psychology, minor in sociology. So
that's awesome. Thank you for telling me that.
So when I write, sometimes that stuff will creep in, and so it's just funny. And I bet you have a lot of that doing it too.
Well, yeah. Since you mentioned your degrees, when I went to college, I got a minor in theology and philosophy because I was trying to go after being a Catholic priest. Well, evidently, I did not.
Obvious.
However,
you say fuck way too much, dude. And your songs.
We share a favorite word, don't we?
No, that's not my favorite word. Now, I got to say this just for fun. And
what is your favorite word?
My favorite word? Oh.
Yeah, you can't gloss past that.
I think it changes, but the latest one is debacle. And I sent you guys that one. I just wrote a song called Debacle.
You did.
Finished up, I think.
Well, you sent us the lyrics. You didn't send us the music.
I didn't really have a good copy.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but we are looking forward to hearing the new stuff. When are you going to get into the studio and start releasing that stuff?
That is a great question. I'd love to get in there as of March and get going again.
When are you looking to be done with it?
Oh, I think we're far enough along that I could be done with it in like a month and a half.
Really? Are you going to do all the drum parts, or are you going to break Daniel's heart?
I probably would do the drum parts again.
What's the difference between Ed, the drummer, and Ed, the singer guitarist? So let me give you an example. So for example, when I'm Brent, the songwriter, I'm just writing a song. So it's very, there's no ego associated with it. There's just trying to produce something of quality that's worth listening to, either by providing irony or humor. So that's kind of my thing when I'm a songwriter. But when I'm a performer, or I'm Uncle Brent, the performer, then my point is it's still, I want to entertain people, but I'm approaching them more as a, hey, let's hang out, let's talk, let's spend some time together, let's drop the weight of the world at the door and come in here and have a good time, have a few drinks. What's the difference between your hats?
Over the years, I've had the drums become more of like a support or a little background to the songwriting. Like my motivation, my drive has been to share something unique and to say something that like I need to get out, or like you said, can touch people, or you said like it reaches into your soul. I still remember when I was in college finishing my last semester, I wrote a book, and I don't even remember what it was called, but I did share it with a handful of people. And one of my dear friends at the time, he said, it's like a window into the soul and the mind. And I went, that's far out, man. And so that's what I want through the expression of the words and the song writing. But he says, so what's it like? What's the persona like? The drums are like you said, the support, the foundation, the backing to the message, to the words. The words are just like, I don't know how to say it, but I have to come up with like dozens of pages to pull out one song. I don't do it like I used to do, where I just sit down and write a bunch of poetry and then I say, that's it, man. It takes a whole hell of a lot of drafts. And with this song Debacle I was talking about, like that stuff, like I had pulled that out of a book that started at the beginning of the pandemic, you know? And so then it became a song less than 2 years later. But darn, if I didn't have to dig to find some of the ideas and to make them more relevant to today's feelings and what I'm up to, you know?
Who were you most influenced by musically?
Well, definitely started with Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, and then followed up with Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters. I felt like he was kind of reborn from that dismal disappointment and that loss in his life. And Soundgarden and Chris Cornell really spoke to me when I was a boy and a teenager and stuff. I remember like Super Unknown, just those words and that sadness and that like really resonated with me. And then like I followed his whole career, and then just reading about and hearing about like the death of people like Jim Morrison and Scott Weiland and Chris Cornell. Like sometimes being a musician can be a real like lonely, upsetting, depressing life. I mean, it doesn't have to be.
So let's move on to another song. We see this is how I end up editing for 2.5, 3 hours, but that 2.5, 3 hours rolls into like 7.
Because she's drinking.
I am not drinking when I edit. I drink when I interview, and I'm not today because my body wouldn't allow it. Let's talk about, although that was a fair statement, Brent, I'm not mad. Let's talk about Not Allowed. Look, I know who I am.
Sure.
Hey, I love that song.
Yes.
I heard you do that one live, and that is my favorite song by you at this point in time. And I heard you do it live, and that was the one where I was like, why is he talking about me? Why is he making me uncomfortable? How dare him? I'm going to have to clap a little louder now. But anyway,
sweet,
so
man.
tell us about that song.
What exactly about that song made you feel that way, Brent?
I'd love to know.
I've been in many relationships that did not work. This one right now with my wife has been wonderful. It's very different than any other relationship I've been in. Maybe it's because I'm actually 12 now, emotionally, which helps.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
on
sir.
Being 12. Yeah.
On making it to 12.
You're getting there. Eventually you'll graduate.
Right. So when you were talking about there are so many things that you said in that song that I was just like, basically one person in that, especially in the beginning, is considered to be useless by the other party.
Yes.
And if you're that one in a relationship, that it doesn't matter what you do, you're just a paycheck. You're other than what you can give them, there's nothing worthwhile in you. And as soon as you fail to bring in income, or you fail to do exactly what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, you're useless. And so that's what the first part of that song is about. I've gotten over that stuff, but I still remember what that felt like when I was going through it.
Yeah, I wanted the song to be more like of redemption and coming back and forgiveness. I just wanted it to be like as ugly as it could, and then transform into what like I want love to be in the world. And so like, I guess just, I don't know if you have kids, but like just when you look at your children, you realize like there's nothing that they could do or say that you'd ever stop loving them, and just being totally pure and whole in that love.
Guilt and shame bear my name, breaks and breeds, tension remain. You're not allowed to feel with your shrink, but not in here. With your therapist, but not in here. You promised me everything, then you took it away. You're supposed to pay like a fucking father. Back in your cage, you're supposed to pay. The tension fuels my pain. You're not accepted, troublesome and lame. Are you afraid 'cause you're unsafe? Cold-ordered and blunt, I'll get from you what I want, squeeze from you what I want. have you anyhow, anyway. You think you're lost? Well, I've been fucking double-crossed. Like emotional weed, I'll burn you, no matter the cost. We cannot keep you, you unprofitable slave. You're cornered now. Get the fuck back. Back in your cage. Back in your cage. My love, forgive me, you are safe, you're safe. Come back to me, come back to the fold. Your voice won't be minimized, your voice will be prized. I will take you in, I promise, precious, no disguise. You know I love you, you know it. I've always been too careful with my heart, afraid of feeling imaginary scars, imaginary scars. I will keep you, you are perfect in every way, never stop loving you. Nothing you could do or ever say. I am loyal and devoted to your name. You are released, don't you go back. Back in your cage. You're freed from your cage.
When you say producers, were they actual producers, or was one like more of a co-songwriter, or explain that part of it?
Well, I actually hired a drummer named Swift. I don't remember his, I had to look up his real name, but he actually had a home studio too. Mm-hmm. And he recorded people. And I didn't think that like we could put out the final product with him, but he was able to like bring out of me some of the material that like we needed to enhance the song. And so I think I spent a couple hours with him, but like just that feedback, man, it's so important. I like, if I could tell your people like that are listening, like a couple things, like definitely like have some income, you know, don't go be a musician and try to like make a living, at least not at first. And also like pay good people to work with you. Cause if you go find some students like I tried to do and try to record with them, you're probably not even going to get a copy of the music. And it definitely won't be your best work. You know what I'm saying? If it comes out at all. So, pay for what you get and be willing to pay for it and be willing to save for it, because it'll take time. I mean, we get so damn excited about our music and we want to just do it right away and do it at any cost, but that's not always practical. You know, like at least for me, like I don't like a lot of input. I don't like people telling me what to do. And like, that's not real life. I mean, you have to allow yourself to be told what to do, at least in some arenas, to be the best you can be. Mm-hmm. And so like I was telling you about that song, like, thank God I had those two people, because it wouldn't be what it is without them.
So that's what so would you say that's your advice to people wanting to kids coming up, wanting to do music?
We can do it now. Yes. Yeah. So definitely stay inspired. You know, listen to your heroes, go after them, follow them, do what they're doing. But like you said, have good counsel, have somebody in your corner that's going to like say, look, man, this is great that you're like creative and that you're unadulterated and you're going for it. But you also have to be intelligent and you have to eat. You have to have a place to live. You know, like these things are not, at least for me, not natural thoughts. Like I just go do shit. And you have, I wrote in my book, I wrote, reign in life, rein you in. Cause, I just want to go, I just want to do it. And we need people to like say, whoa, not yet. Or whoa, that doesn't sound good. Or we need to edit your ass. Cause, that's not going to make the final cut.
Yeah.
You know what? Initially, isn't that the hardest thing to hear when you first start writing? Because you know there's stuff wrong with what you're doing. It's just so hard to hear in the beginning. But it's important to hear the feedback that you don't want to hear, the constructive feedback. Some people are give you feedback just to be mean. Where can we find you if we want to find you on the intranet? Internet.
Yeah. If you want to talk to me, it's probably easier to Facebook message me, to be honest with you. And my name is like the only name on there. So it's Edward Ruhnke or Edward Vincent Ruhnke, I think.
Do you have a band page?
The easiest way to find me there is on Reverb Nation.
Okay.
Or on SoundCloud under Our Liberation, OUR Liberation.
So you ready to do the end of the show?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because you don't sound like you're ready to end this. You sound like you just want to fall asleep at the end of it.
You know, you guys were talking about Tool, and now all I want to listen to is Tool. I don't know why, but I can't shut it up in my brain. Schism is totally like the chorus is just playing over and over, and it's getting to like where I can't remember the words, and then it's just like starting over.
Yeah,
I hate that.
He's a fun guy to talk to, and
he is fun.
He is like super, super passionate.
Very much.
I mean, I was like, and when I listen to his music, I have to like take vitamins before, and because
he gets you in the feels, does he?
Well, that one song definitely
for sure.
does.
Yeah, I can see why.
His other stuff is just, it just has, I don't know how he bottles that emotion and puts it all into that with his vocal. I can't do that. I get tired. So I guess I just flake out or something when I'm doing my stuff.
Did you just openly admit to everybody that like you could, but you're not going to because it makes you tired?
No, I start out tired. I start out tired.
It takes too much energy, so I'm not going to do it.
No, I don't know how to muster up that much excitement.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I think that's why I'm so deadpan.
I just couldn't. I was like, wait, okay.
I think that's why I'm so deadpan. I'm just tired.
That's what it is. It's not even sarcasm half the time. It's just exhaustion. You should write a song called Fatigue.
It's not deadpan. It's fatigue.
Don't mistake exhaustion for sarcasm.
It's not dry humor. It's exhaustion.
You have to do it now.
I know you're waiting for the punchline, but I have to take a nap.
There it is. You're waiting for the punchline. I'm waiting for this baby to sleep. Like, you're not the same.
So, you know what I really hope is coming from all this work we're doing? I hope people are following on our social medias and listening it and giving us likes and subscribing and doing all those things. Because I know some people think, you know, what's it going to do if I just like them or subscribe them? And, you know,
Brent, what will it do?
But no, what it does is it helps give us more streams on the different platforms. And then that pushes us, our words and our nonsense into other areas that they would not reach, which then can help us make this podcast more viable. And we can reach out and help other people. And so when you like or subscribe or even say something nasty, we can use that.
Please don't say something nasty.
Okay. Tell you what, just send your nastiness to me. I will deal with it.
Brent can feel all your hate. I'm too sensitive.
I can, and I'll probably say, please take your place at the end of the line. Your number is 2468. Who do we appreciate? Because there is a long line. But so I know people wonder, like, what does it matter? And
it makes
it really
a big difference, actually.
It helps out with our credibility. Renelle's trying to get sponsors because it does cost money and time, and she's not getting any younger folks. So we need to be thinking about her place at the nursing home. She needs to start saving up now.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, really, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of work. And, you know, you listen to us from anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, and she's putting in some tough work. So you doing those things, hitting the like button, subscribing, lets her know that you care. And you could even just say, you know, I don't care, but just let her know that you're there. Poke her.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't know what to do with that, do you?
No.
I just laid that right out there for you.
And it was like so easy that I'm not even going to touch it.
Oh, well, that's what I feel like I have to do sometime. I just have to put it out there and see who hits it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God. Make sure that you click the links below also for the musician that was on the show today. Let them know you heard about us here. Don't forget our Patreon. The link is below for that as well. And I think that's it.
We're also going to be giving away some cool stuff, some cool Uncle Brent gear, or not gear, or merchandise.
Oh, yeah. Stickers.
I need to send it to you.
You need to send me stickers.
But, let us know if you want any of that stuff. Send us a message. Say, hey.
Put a little comment. I want a sticker, and then we'll
say Uncle Renell. I want a sticker, and we'll see what we can do to get it over to you.
All right, everybody. Brent's gonna go get some sleep.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about? That's crazy.
You're gonna go
nonsense.
try to get. You're at least gonna try.
I'm not even gonna try. I don't even try to sleep anymore. I just.
How much sleep have you had in the last 24 hours?
I've been really lucky. In the last 24 hours, my wife has allowed me to engineered the ability for me to get 5 hours sleep. And so basically,
wow,
what I've told her is,
that's awesome.
Look, if I fall asleep, it doesn't matter where I'm at. If I'm in the middle, if I'm in the threshold between the living room and the kitchen,
just let me lay there.
Just let me lay there. Because if you wake me up, I'm up. I'm up again for the next 12 hours. And so she's like, she did it.
I want Julia to start taking secret pictures of Brent just falling the fuck asleep in random places and then send it to me, and I'll make like a video.
A montage.
A montage for the fun. I'm serious. For me, just for fun, for, downloads. Every time you fall asleep, like leaning on the kitchen counter, I want a picture. And then I'll just compile it for her, and then she can be like, oh, you so every time you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, or I gained that baby weight too, she can be like, let me just throw on the fucking montage.
Oh man.
Let me do it, because that would be so much fun. And in the background, I'll put like Sarah McLachlan in the arms of an angel.
That's funny. Oh damn, that's funny. I think the other day.
Does your significant other need sleep?
Oh man, you were twisted.
That'd be so much fun.
She would probably do that too. She probably is. No telling what she's doing when I'm not watching. She's like, I showed that bastard. Click, click, click.
It'd be so much fun. So on that note, he's going to bed, and y'all get out there and make some noise.
Woo!